Beautiful people, I have been waiting for a very long time to review this book. Ever since I knew that it was coming out, I was just like, Mel Robinson has released another book. I'm definitely going to pick up this book, review it, and let you know what I exactly think about this book. So, hey beautiful people, on today's book table, as you've seen, we are going to be reviewing The Let Them Theory by Mel Robinson. Now, I got this book I think 2 days ago. I thought I was going to read it that very day, but then for some reason I wasn't feeling well, I wasn't feeling too good. That's why their review for this very particular book has been a little bit delayed, but we are here. So I'm going to tell you what I read about the book, how I apply it, and exactly what I think about the book. No BS, okay? For those who don't know who I am, my name is Lucy. I do review self-help books. I read them, I give you the knowledge that I've read from them, I'd let you know what I think, and then you personally, you take that information and do whatever you want to do with that information, okay? I am just here to review and tell you what I think on my own personal opinion, and also encourage you to read a bit of self-help books, okay? Anyways, so in the beginning of this book, when you start off from chapter 1, Mel talks about her story, her journey, how she actually started in terms of getting to where she got. And she talks about this aspect of she was unhappy, she was not in a good position, her husband was also struggling, they were struggling financially together, they had children, everything was not going in the best way that you could ever think that it would go. And she talks about how she started doing small little steps and small little things every single day that literally helped her. She started off by doing this 5-second rule. So she talks about the 5-second rule, and there is a book I think that she has written that is called the 5-second rule. And she said that she was watching NASA, I think NASA launching how do they call them, the rockets, okay? And they were counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that very moment she thought to herself, what about if I use the 5-second rule in my own life to get me to do things? 5 seconds for me to get out of bed, 5 seconds to do the next thing, count down backwards, coming frontwards, and that helped her in such a way. Anyways, I'm going too deeply into the aspect of that, but that's just how she started, and little by little she found herself where she found herself. By the way, just if you're watching this video, the link to this book would be down in the description, and you can check out the book yourself. You can get the book, you can pick it up. It will be on Amazon mainly. That's why I link the book, because it's easy, and Amazon is in most countries, so you can get yourself the book. And yeah, before we go any further, there is something I want to read from this book that will encourage anybody out there. Anyone who is watching this and feels like they've run out of time. You're in your 30s, you feel like you've run out of time. Your 40s, you've run out of time. Your 50s, you've run out of time. Let me read something here from Mel's book before we carry on. She says, she was 41 when she had an anxiety attack on TEDx. She was 46 when she got her first speaking paycheck. She was 49 when she self-published her first book. She was 50 when she started her production company. And she was 54 when she launched one of the fastest growing podcasts in the world. She says, my life didn't change because of one thing that I did. It changed because of the thousands of mornings where I woke up and didn't feel like getting out of bed. But I, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, made myself do it. Now, that should encourage you to tell you that, you know what, it's never too late. You can still get to do the things that you want to do. As long as you have life and you're still breathing, you still have a chance to change and do things. So, moving on to chapter 1, the Let Them Theory. In this very particular book, she starts off by saying that stop wasting your life on things you cannot control. The problem isn't you, the problem is the power you unknowingly give to other people. She says the moment you let other people have an opinion about your life, then you're giving them power. The moment you start thinking about what other people think of you, you give them power. And then she says, regardless of what people think about you, you can never change it. You can never change an opinion that someone has on you. They have that opinion. And she also explains that regardless of whatever happens in life, there are things that you can't control. She says, When you stop trying to control things that aren't yours to control, you stop wasting your energy, you reclaim your time, your peace of mind, and your focus. You realize that your happiness is tied to your actions, not someone else's behavior, opinions, or moods. So she's telling you, take back your power. Let them. Every single time someone says something about you that you don't like, let them. It's not your responsibility to change whatever they say about you. If friends have gone out and, they have gone out for a party and they haven't invited you to go for that party, let them. Okay, let them. They have every right to enjoy themselves. They have every right to invite whoever they want to invite. They have every right to not invite you to go for that party. So you have to let them. You can't control them giving you an invite for you to go out and enjoy with them. You can't control that aspect. But what you can control is what you do next and how you feel about and how you handle those emotions. Okay? When you carry on in the book, when you go on to chapter 2, she talks about another aspect of after you have let them do whatever they want to do, or people, or you've used the let them theory, there is something else that you have to use, but I'll talk about when we get towards the very end of the video. I don't want to mix it up in so many aspects. I want to talk about this part first before I get onto that part that she advises is a very crucial part if you're going to be using the let them theory. The book itself is divided into these subsections of different scenarios in your life whereby you can use the let them theory. It's not the type of book whereby it's divided into lessons or things that you can learn. It's divided into different chapters of areas in which you can use that let them theory as an example in your life. So when you move on to chapter 3, she says life is stressful. She says, the ones I'm talking about, the never-ending notifications on your phone, the slow internet conversations, the unexpected change in plans, the endless meetings at work, the inconsiderate behavior of other people, the long lines, the slow walkers. These small annoyances may seem insignificant, but they aren't. She gives an example. For example, you're at the airport, you had a queue, or someone is just having their worst day ever, and their worst day is affecting your day, so your day is becoming so bad and you're becoming very agitated and very angry. She says, if you just take a deep breath and say let them be whatever they want to be, you take away that power of control that they are having over you, over your emotions at that very time, and you just let them be whatever they want to be. You just free yourself away from exactly what they are doing at that very moment. It's annoying, it's not fun, it's not nice, but just let them. Let go of it. Let go of that feeling that you have towards what they are doing that is controlling your emotions. Then she also says, apply the let them theory when it comes to friendships. And she says that sometimes you have these friends, sometimes you have these people that go silent on you and they don't talk to you, and their response is just to keep quiet and not talk to you and not do anything. It's normally like a response. It's like an adult having a childlike behavior. She says in the book, let them go silent. Let them erupt. Let them play the victim. Let them sulk. Let them deny what happened. Let them make it all about them. Let them. But let yourself be wise enough not to think of the way they are thinking. Stop staying in situations where someone's repeated emotional immaturity is starting to feel more like abuse. Stop feeling sorry for people who play the victim all the time. Stop explaining away someone's narcissistic behavior. The more time you pour into a relationship with someone who acts like an 8-year-old, the more you're going to feel like a parent to a child. When you recognize that you are dealing with someone who has a lot of internal work to do, you can draw healthier boundaries around the amount of time and energy you are willing to give them. Because until the person does the work to build the skills of emotional intelligence, they will always pull the silent treatment, play the victim, or be passive aggressive. This isn't a personality trait, it is a pattern. So you have to let them. You have to let people behave in the way that they want to behave. You can't start correcting people every single time and thinking that you're going to be the bigger person to correct them and show them the right path in life. No, let them. Let them feel whatever they want to feel, behave the way they want to feel. Let them treat you the way they want to treat you, thinking that that's the best way they want to treat you. Let them. Literally, let them. Okay? Now, I'm not going to explain all the aspects within the book because it's just different types of examples that you can get from the book. I'm just going to give you an overall behavior of what the book itself is based on. So I'll just read for you here. In the Let Them theory, she talks about how you can manage stress using that, how you can think about your own relationships, how you can overcome chronic comparison. So that whole aspect is within the Let Them theory, okay? Big portion of the book talks about boundaries versus control. She explains that setting boundaries, plus that setting healthy boundaries does not mean how others behave. There's true boundaries about what you as a person can tolerate and not what you expect others to do. So now this is the aspect where I'm going to talk about where she says, okay, after you have said to people, let them, okay, someone, annoys you, let them. Family members do something to you that you don't like, let them. At a job, something happens, let them. She says, after you have let them, so many people say that, I've let them be. Now I'm lonely. Now I don't have friends. What am I going to do? She says, after let them, there comes let me. Okay? So, for example, a scenario whereby friends have gone out for a party, they've gone out for drinks, they have not invited you, you find out all this information on social media, you see all these pictures, you see all these videos, and you're saying to yourself, oh my god, these are friends, these are people I talk to, these are people I meet, why have they not invited me? Then you remember that Mel said, let them, they have every right to invite whoever they want to invite without you, so let them. But with letting them, you have to say to yourself, let me find out why I was not invited. Let me see what I can do better in order to be part of this circle. Let me ask if next time I could be invited. Let me maybe take my space, or let me think about this, because I don't think these are people that are meant to be for me or friends for me. So she says, use the let them theory, but then add on let me. So after you have let people do whatever they want to do, after you have understood that other people's opinions don't matter, your opinion matters more, after you have taken back your power, it's now time to do the work yourself, to let me theory, to do whatever you want to do. So she says the let them theory is a theory that allows you to take control and power back within your own self. So when you get the book, you're going to be met with different chapters that are going to tell you how you can apply the let them theory when that scenario happens. Could say so much about the book, but I would be lying to you, because honestly speaking, the let them theory is just let them do this, let them do that, in all that kind of aspect. So whilst I was reading this book, I kind of skipped over certain chapters and things like that, because it was all about let them. But let me tell you exactly what I do think about the book. Style of writing is very relatable, it's very empathetic, it has a very empathetic tone to it. It writes with warmth, with no judgment, with a lot of sincerity, or with a lot of you feel like she is with you and she is talking to you. This is how this book is written, and I liked that whole aspect of the book. I felt like though I was judged or told, things were thrown, over to me. No, I did not feel any kind of that when it came from the book. Actionable advice in here. She gives a lot of ways in which you can use the theory, how you can use them. She also tells you, be aware, if you don't use the theory properly, it can cause you to be lonely, it can cause you to be sad, it can cause you to be emotional, but you have to try and use it in a very correct way in order for you to get the best results out of it. Okay, it has a very universal appeal. Recently I reviewed a book. If you saw that book that I reviewed, it was very limited to the kind of people that would pick up that book or read that book, but this book is a very universal appeal that can appeal to anybody in any different country or any different part of the world. Once they read this book, they will relate to the book in a very sort of good way. And this is something that I always say, and it was one of my critiques that I gave to a previous book that I was reading, that I reviewed. You can go and check out that book. And in that very particular book, it felt like that book was targeted to only people in the Western world, with a specific demographic, not to everybody at large. But this is very universal. I can send it to my country in Uganda, give it to someone there, they will read it and they'll relate to it and they'll apply it because it's very universal. Now, the critic when it comes to this book, and I never wanted to give a critic when it comes to this book because I like the style in which this book is written. However, it is very repetitive. There is an extent to which we're going to talk about let them. That is literally what was getting into my head. It's a very repetitive book. If you pick up this book and you read it, you're definitely going to say to yourself, yeah, I've had it all. It's a very kind of repetitive book. It does talk so much about the let them theory. There is not much to it. You can just pick up the book and choose a chapter whereby you're struggling and then see how you can apply the let them theory or reasons as to why, and it will give you comfort. If you stress at work or struggling with friendships or maybe relationships, then you can choose that section and just read about that section to help you in that let them theory. You don't have to read the whole entire book. In my own perspective, kind of, I think the aspect of people pleasing and validation should have been explored a little bit more. I feel like that part was not explored so much, so maybe next time she can try and explore that, or maybe that wasn't the direction which she was going for. But I feel a bit of exploration when it comes to validation may have added a bit of depth. Now, I wrote down here some key takeaways that I got from the book. Oh, I dropped something. I wrote down some key takeaways that I got from the book is that people's opinions are outside your control. So I wrote down some key takeaways of things that could definitely help out, just 3 of them. And it says, people's opinions are outside your control and are often unrelated to your true self-worth. Okay? Then the other one is, boundaries are about your choices, not controlling others. Focus on your growth, authenticity, and well-being rather than external validation. And always remember, let them. Free yourself and just let them be wherever they want to be. You know, they don't let their behavior become something that determines who you are. Let them. Okay, let them. The overall rating for this book, I would rate this book a 4-star because the structure in which it's written is very good. It's a very relatable book. It can be read by different people in different countries and all that kind of thing. It's missing. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention, by the way, I love the cover. The cover is very, I don't know if you feel like it's very, I don't know how I can explain it. Tell me what word you think I can use for this, because I've run out of words to use, but it's like very, you can feel it, if that makes sense. I don't think that much would have been, you know, written. I feel like just a bit of that would have been enough. But then again, it would be not enough, if that makes sense. I like that she has covered so many aspects here that you can use as examples, and I feel like it's a book that I can read and come back to remind myself about the let them theory and remember the let me theory as well. But apart from that, I hope you have enjoyed this review. I think this is the shortest review I've done because there's not much I can really say about the book. It's a really good book. I'll link it down below in the description if you really want to get this book and you can get the book yourself. Okay, all right. So until next time, my name is Lucia Cow. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we're going to be doing our final books that we've read this year. So you need to watch out for the books that I have read this year. This one is going into my next year's books. Okay, we've closed this year's reading books. Okay, we're just 5 days away before the year ends, so we've closed that chapter. Okay. But anyways, let me know if you're going to pick up this book, or this book is something that you would want to read, which I would advise anyone to pick up the book to read. It's a very interesting book. It's a very nice book. But apart from that, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. My name is Lucia Cow. Bye bye.